Welcome and good evening, everybody, to another round of the AKEF Super Racing Challenge here, managed by IR Esports. A few months ago, we actually had a really exciting race at Monza, known as the Temple of Speed, particularly because of the sort of speeds that cars can reach in that track. Well, today we're back at another Italian circuit, but this one is a lot more technical. It's known for its precarious bends and turns and its high speed sections that really test the driver's skills. Yes, we're here at the Imola circuit. So before we get right into the action, for our new viewers over here, AKEF is the All Kerala Esports Federation, founded in December 2018, and it's become one of the most sought after esports organizations in Kerala. Now, the AKEF is a leading esports venture and the largest gaming community in Kerala, renowned for hosting major esports tournaments. Major events like KPL Seasons 1, 2, 3, Kerala Cordem Championship, Valorant Meta League, Clash of Clan events, and so many more have reached 5 million gamers and almost 10 million viewership in just 2 years. Now, here at IR Esports, we are India's largest e-racing organizers. IR Esports has created iconic properties in the racing esports space, such as the Indian E-Racing Championship, the Volkswagen Virtual Racing Championship, Mumbai's fastest gamer, India's fastest gamer, and the Indian Sim Racing League. Now, IR Esports curates, plans, and executes custom motorsport based campaigns via esports across various mediums. The IR Esports Indian E Racing Championship, the IERC, is India's most prestigious e racing competition and has completed 4 seasons till date. Now, the IERC attracts India's top sim racing drivers to battle it out for a chance to win an actual test in a real life race car. Now, the Mumbai's Fastest Gamer is India's largest ever e-racing competition of any type. And now, talking about e-racing in general, we're here right in qualifying. We've just got about 11 and a half minutes left on the clock for drivers to put their times and actually find their spot in what's going to be a very interesting starting grid for this really demanding racetrack. This is Imola, the Autodromo International Enzo E. Dino Ferrari, but it's commonly called Imola, and it's nestled in a little town called Imola in Emilia Romagna, Italy. Now, this circuit is 4.909 kilometers long. The lap record for a race is held by the current defending Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton with a 1 minute 15.484. This time by again, we are not actually racing Formula One cars. We are racing the Tartus FA01 race car here in Assetto Corsa, which is a simulation of our choice for today's simulator of our choice. Now, this closely resembles a Formula 4, a typical Formula 4 car, and the lap record for that, in fact, is a 1 minute 44.349. Which is held by Dino Beganovic and was created in 2020 with the Tartus F4TO14. Slightly different car, but the specs are more or less the same. So let's try to use that as a benchmark and see what these drivers can do in their qualifying lap times. So this is what the order looks like right now. We just see Aditya Patnaik putting out the fastest lap for the time being, but there's still a long way to go. There are about 10 minutes of qualifying still left. We are right now riding on board with Amitesh Rao, who gets it all wrong on that curb and gets a little bit too much of a moment coming out of that corner, and now he's going to have to just kind of pick those tire temperatures back and focus on putting another fast lap next time by. A little bit about these cars. It gives about an average power of about 180 horsepower, and then it kind of gets into that at around 5,500 RPM, a torque value of 250 Newton meter at about 3,500 RPM, and it weighs just around 525 kgs. So not very powerful and not very heavy, but it's still a very good training ground for drivers to get used to sims, and also a real test for skill for more experienced drivers who have to just nail everything right to squeeze out the most amount of lap time possible. And as I talk about the most amount of lap time that you can squeeze out, Cycle 3 goes ahead and puts another lap over there that's half a second faster than second place driver Aditya Patnaik. The fastest lap on the leaderboard right now is a 1 minute 46.4 held by Cycle 3 at the moment. We see other drivers now slowly adding their times. We're on board now with Aryaman Rumta, who I think is just going around now to complete another lap. He's just going towards the end, and just let's see what he can put on the leaderboard right now as he goes down the start-finish straight. That corner, by the way, is called Rivatsa. Next time, whenever we get an onboard footage of a driver on their lap, we'll run you through exactly what it takes to get through this lap. as we ride on board with Ariman right now. We go down the main straight over here. You need to gear up for the first variante, the first chicane sequence called Variante Tamburello. Break into number 2 and then just take number 3 little bit. Don't take it too much. These curbs are very precarious. Take number 4 quite cleanly as you get back down the straight. Then you have turns number 5 and 6 coming up over here. This is Variante Villeneuve. This chicane is slightly faster than the previous one, but you still have to be quite careful as you thread your way through there. And then you go uphill now to what is called Toza. This is just basically a hairpin. Gotta be very careful over here. We've had some tussles in the past over here in real life with Juan Pablo Montoya and Michael Schumacher, if any of you remember that one. So that's a bit pretty precarious place to overtake, but it still can make it work. Turn 8 is just flat out. You go through turn 9, which is Piratella. Very dangerous over here. Got to be super careful not to go wide. It goes downhill. And as we go downhill through turn number 10, we go through Aqua Minerali. Turn 11, 12, and 13. This is a very tricky section. Got to be very easy on the power. Don't want to spin out. Go back uphill. Very fast chicane, that one. And then you go down this next mini straight. Brake heavily for Variante Alta. This is turns number 14 and 15. Very tight chicane sequence over there. Get on power early on that AstroTurf and you're back down, rocketing down these another essentially mini straight as you get ready to go slightly downhill, and then you go down through turn number 16, which is basically flat out, not really a corner, and then you break into these two 90 degrees corners, 17 and 18, the Rivatsa complex, and you get a good exit out of here. What you want to do is go wide onto the right, don't go too wide, get on the curb and then stick to the right side. There's actually a trick in qualifying. You got to stick as close as you can to that Aramco barrier over there. As Aryaman goes by, is he going to improve his lap time? He barely misses out on improving it, but he takes second place. That's a 45.810 by Aryaman. He's 3/10 off his fastest, but that's still that's 3/10 off the fastest in the entire leaderboard, but that still puts him firmly in second place. And now drivers like Aditya Patnaik, Navneet, and all of them down the order need to really start pushing and trying to get back up there. But that's a lap around Imola. It's a very demanding circuit. Even though these cars are slightly slower, it still takes a lot of precision, as you see how bumpy it actually is. And that's one of the characteristic features of this racetrack. You gotta be ever so careful as you go over all these little bumps and turns and altitude changes and variations and variantes, the chicanes. Yash now going down. He's 2.8 seconds off the leader space. He's still got some time, but he's going to want to get a move on with these sort of lap times and the current qualifying time. If you need to do an out lap, you can only get about 2 or 3, maybe 4 laps if you really push your luck. But yeah, you don't have many laps left right now. Just 6 minutes left for these drivers to qualify and gear up for what we think is going to be a super exciting race. If you all remember Monza, that was extremely exciting. If you remember, Mr. Bean was driving in that. We had Udit Sen as well, who was leading for a long time and then spun out. So anything can happen in these races, and that's what makes it so dynamic. You're always going to have to be on your toes and be ready for any sort of changes. Let's see what the rest of these drivers can do as they put on their lap times. Ashok over here, a 1 minute 48.2. That's 3.3 seconds off pace, but it still puts him firmly in 5th place. Just a 10th ahead, of course, of Navneet Kumar over there, but then quite a big gap between them and the cars behind. Wow, just about like 10 or 15 minutes of qualifying done. So many exciting things have already happened. Here we see Shobit as well now pushing to get his lap time on the board. I don't see him on the leaderboard right now, so he may have run into some trouble, or maybe he was just biding his time in the pits. Yeah, there he is. It was a 2 minute 14, so he's only done an out lap till now. So this is his first official flying lap as we go through what is essentially the second chicane sequence. Again, that was Variante Villeneuve going through Toza uphill. This gives you a better perspective of how cambered and banked that the nature of that hairpin basically is. He goes back uphill now as he gets ready for Piratella, and this again is a very fast corner. Like I said, it's quite dangerous, so this just shows you, how extreme the nature of that corner is. It just tips downhill, and then this is the Aqua Minerali complex, one of the most popular, most iconic sections of the track. Very tight over there. You see GT3 cars struggle a lot over there. These cars are no exceptions. They don't have much downforce, so you're gonna completely have to want to rely on mechanical grip through these sort of tight, bumpy, curved sections, so to speak. Great view, seriously great view. Very different racetrack compared to what we had last time. So this just Just really shows you the capacity, the capabilities rather of these cars. So much for them to offer, and so much for the drivers to prove in these. So it just makes for such a great race. I would hope the upcoming race is going to be super fun because I know that there's a lot of potential. I hope you all agree with me. Those who are in the comments right now, any guesses for who's going to win, please do type that in. Let's see how many of you can get that right as we just have about 3.5 minutes left before qualifying time officially ends. Sai Prithvi is already in pole position, but he decides, no, I want to put one more lap on the board. I want to just improve that. 9 tenths is not enough. Let me make that 1 second and 9 tenths. So let's see what Sai Prithvi can offer over here. He's just powering his way through. This is essentially what is through that final section. Yeah, he's just going downhill into Rivatsa right now, and he aborts that lap. Does he have something? Does he have something planned? Is he playing mind games with his competition, or is he just waiting for a clear track ahead? Looks like that's the case. Looks like Saiprit is trying to break every single record possible over here. He's already almost matched the official F4 record for Imola. As someone decides to go the other way around, no, that's not the way you want to go. You want to go the right way around. That's the only way you're going to get a lap time on the board. This is another driver who has a potential right now to probably just trump that top spot, but he's still 9 tenths off of Sai Prithvi's pace. Aditya Patnaik just making his way through again. That was Piratella, yep, and going through Aqua Minerale once more. Let's see what sort of line he takes. Takes that curb, goes wide, not too wide, yep, avoids that curb and then just uses the camber of the track, gets back uphill, uses the tarmac, not the tarmac, sorry, the AstroTurf, which gives you, surprisingly gives you some grip in certain parts of the racetrack. Finds his way uphill. Ooh, that was a little adventurous on that curb. I don't know if that's going to cost him any time. Seems all right. He doesn't seem to be too befuddled from it. Let's see what he can put. We have 1.5 minutes right now on the clock, which means that anyone who's on their lap right now is not going to be able to do more than one more lap, since the average lap around here seems to be about a 1 minute 45, 1 minute 44. Aditya Patnaik comes across the line to get in his lap time. Nope, he's not fast enough. Let's see if he can do one more lap to get that top spot. He's so close. He's so close right now. Just 8 tenths off the leader's pace. So let's just see what he can do. Ariman Rungta firmly planted in third place. And then just a tenth off, of course, Amitesh Rao, and then from there on, it's just the gaps just keep increasing. It's 4 tenths to fifth place right now, and then another tenth to. Oh, look at that. There's something I noticed there. 6th and 7th have exactly the same lap time, at least up to the 10th. So there's obviously some difference there in the hundreds or thousands, which is extremely close, extremely tight. That shows that those two drivers are very level in their approach and well, in their skill level for this track. So it'll be interesting to see the sort of battles they can make. This is where you can really start playing mind games. How many sort of team battles you're going to get here, how many people are going to try to cooperate with each other, play mind games with each other perhaps. At the end of the day, you want to win, but in order to get to the front, sometimes you need to work together and then battle it out in the last few laps. There's so much to come, so much to learn from a series like NASCAR. Might not necessarily work the same way here, but well, racing is racing. There's so many ways to do it. There's really no wrong way to do it unless you're really hurting somebody in the process. Amitesh Rao gets a 1 second gets a lap time that's about 1.194 seconds off pace. So that's the end of qualifying for him. We are firmly into overtime right now, 15 seconds in overtime. So anyone on their flying lap is going to want to finish that off right now. As you see, the driver suddenly disappears for a while. Maybe he got bored down that main straight, down that downhill section. But I think he's back now. And who else is finishing their lap? Navneet Kumar finishes his lap. That's gonna plant him in 6th place, so he couldn't improve on his previous time. Ojas Survey puts in a lap time of 1 minute 46.724. That's 8th place for Ojas. And let's see who else is crossing the line. Someone's coming out of the pit lane right now. I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe it's a parade lap to celebrate the end of qualifying. I wouldn't mind that. This was a fun and exciting qualifying session, but races in Imola are always fun. The races here, if you all remember what happened in Imola this year, there were some pretty hectic collisions, some chaos all around the grid in Formula One. So this is going to be a very, very interesting battle. There is your starting lineup today for Imola. We've got Sai Prithvi on pole position, 1 minute 44.738. Then you've got Aditya Patnaik, who's about a second behind pole position, and then a tenth behind him is Aryaman, followed by another tenth between him and Amitesh Rao, and then fifth place is Ashwin Ashok with a time of 1 minute 46.373. And you got Navneet Kumar, Prathamesh Yadre almost getting the same lap time, just separated by a few hundredths. Ojas Surve coming in 3 tenths after them. Steve George taking ninth place, 47.2. Yash Pikle 47.5. That's another 2 tenths between them. And then we've got Kunal, Yash, ARH Racing, who managed to get into the top 20 recently, Shobit Narsana, and Sai Kiran to round off the top 15. I believe there are only 15 drivers here today. Not sure where the other 5 are. Maybe they did not put lap times. Let's see what happens on the starting grid anyways. Meanwhile, to our new viewers who have joined in, do comment who you think is going to win this race. We are almost about to start the race, and meanwhile, let me introduce all of us here on the team. We've got Gaurav and Feroz taking care of race direction, overseeing all the camera views, bringing you all of this action, this lovely action that we see on road between all these drivers, all of this fierce driving. The race has actually started, looks like. We just missed out on that. Aditya Patnaik there in second place. I think he just missed out a bit on that start, looks like. But then Sai Prithvi just taking the outside line over there. Is he going to get past? No, someone's trying to make a move inside. Aryaman spins, someone else spins behind him. There's so much chaos and collision. I don't know if anybody has any damage over there, but looks like more or less, I think most of the grid got through, but seems like 4th and 5th place over there just lost out big time. That is Navneet Kumar over there. He was one of the people who was involved in that collision, started 6th place. But yeah, it looks like everybody in front managed to get through. Sai Prithvi, Amitesh Rao, Ojas Surve, the top 3. Where is Aditya Patnaik? Did he also fall prey to that crash over there? He's all the way down in 11th place. He's got a lot of ground to make up over there. You see the rest of the drivers more or less getting through quite cleanly. But yeah, all in all, that was quite an exciting, but rather more chaotic start. Sai Prithvi just making his way through that is the Aqua Minerali section over there as he goes down the straight. Just get ready again for that heavy braking zone into the chicane. Uphill over here, takes it cleanly. He's already probably like 4, 5, 6. Where is second place? They're miles behind. That's at least like 5 seconds of a gap. So he's managed to pull away brilliantly. Ojas is second place over there. There's more chaos at the back. Someone got a bit too throttle happy on the exit of Variante Alta, and that spins them down that main straight. As long as you can catch that car and get back in the rhythm, you can pick up positions. Ojas clearly, very cleanly planted in second place. Yash Pikle here battling it out with that is Prathamesh Yadre right behind him. There are a bunch of cars coming in. All those cars at the back, they're all luminous mirrors. Those were all the front runners initially who got caught out in that action. But yeah, you see all these guys just now trying to get back up there, trying to pick up the pace and just make anything, just churn anything positive out of this chaotic and very unfortunate race start for a lot of these top drivers. Prathamesh Yadre, once again, you see him on camera. You can just see the stream of cars, the speed that they carry through this section just kind of carries on into Variante Tamburello. You got to be super duper careful over there. See, more or less everybody gets through cleanly. And no, they didn't. I keep saying they get through cleanly, and somebody goes off track. Somebody's stuck there in the gravel trap. I don't know who that is. Might have been. What happened to Shobit? He seems to be weaving everywhere. Is that a hardware issue, or he's just trying to get his tires warmed up? I think that's tire warming, but I don't know why you'd want to do that there. You're losing a lot of time on the straight, man. You need to pick up that pace. Come on, Shobit, you can make something back from this race. You started up somewhere in the middle. Meanwhile, a lot of drivers clawing their way up, but then you see how here all the way in front. These are the drivers that really benefited from all that chaos. Steve George all the way up to 4th place. We saw Steve Steve had a very good race last time by last time by Monza. My apologies. I think he got something like 3rd or 4th place. So he's again back there in 4th. He's got Kunal Mahatre right behind him. All familiar names. They're part of our truck race as well. And these are the same guys who were battling each other back then as well. But yeah, top 3 are firmly planted in the podium spots right now. Yash coming up in 6th place over there. He's just trying to pick his way through. Aditya's already made up a couple more spots. He's back up in 8th place, just weaving his way through the grid. Yash goes wide. That gives a spot to Navneet and Aditya and Aryaman. Who else is going to take that? And it looks like Ashwin's also got. So Yash lost about 4 positions in the span of half a corner, but it's all right. He's back on the road. He's just got to pick up those tire temperatures. Spend too much time on the gravel, and all that temperature that you build up throughout the race just kind of plummets down. You lose all the grip. You don't want that. But everybody's just finding their way through. Now the grid is just spaced out across two different sectors of the racetrack. Looks like some wheel bagging going on over there. It's the wrong place to want to do that, but they all seem to have gotten through without too much of an issue. Aditya now can focus on starting to catch up to Kunal Mahatre and Steve George up ahead. But it looks like the race leader is just running away with this race. He's the race leader, so it doesn't look like he's going to get too much screen time. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. We look at people who are having a lot of action on the racetrack. Race leaders just enjoying himself way out in front. Ariman Rupta now on board. This is a good view right now. You can see some battles going on in front, and this is what you want to see. You want to be on the hot seat over here and just watch, spectate, grab your popcorn. Don't chillax too much because you still need to focus on driving. This is Aquaman Rally once again. Someone goes wide, spins over there. That is who is that? That is Navneet Kumar who spun over there. Now Aryaman has Aditya right in front of him. I think that was Navneet. I don't know. Wait. No, yeah, that was Navneet. That was Navneet making way up into Periant Yalta right now. But yeah, now Aditya Patnaik has got to defend from Ariman Rupta, who's managed to just weave his way through that section. Looks like having some popcorn did pay off. But now he's got to get his head down because he has to hunt down this driver right in front. Fast driver Aditya just pulling his way through the circuit. And then all the faster drivers way up in front starting to slowly pull away now. Amitesh, what happened to Amitesh? There's a swap between Amitesh and Ojas up in front. There are some changes, shuffles in the order. What happened over here? Yep, so that's what happened. Looks like Ojas got a run on Amitesh down the main straight. And now Amitesh is playing catch up as he goes through Variante Tamburello once more. This is, I think, lap number 3, I believe, of the race. And drivers all getting in their elements, happy with their tire temperatures, but can all plummet and go into the Arctic zone if you go off track. You don't want to do that. Amitesh managing it well. He's just catching up with Ojas, and then there's it's probably some secret portal to Narnia and then somewhere else that it leads to. That's probably where Sai Prithvi is just miles away from the rest of the pack. But yeah, it looks like this battle is going to be super interesting. 2nd and 3rd. Ooh, look at that. Look at the speed of the cars through that section. That's exactly what you want to see. These track cameras, these track perspective cameras are just brilliant. They give you so much insight to how fast they're going. Go up Aquaman Rally once again. Amitesh getting a good run this time. It looks like Ojas got a bit wide over there on that exit. Amitesh goes on the outside. He's considering a move. It's unwise to make it right here, but he's just got to get a good exit. Get a good exit into Rivatsa downhill over here. Nope. Looks like Amitesh got a snag of oversteer as he got a bit too throttle happy onto that AstroTurf. Now finding his way downhill and once again playing catch up. Now he's gonna have to position his car perfectly, gain some drag reduction, position yourself right in the vacuum of that car ahead, and propel yourself ahead as soon as you reach a braking zone. Sai Prithvi, fastest lap 145.524. Why not at this point? Just push for fastest laps. Go for the Grand Slam if you must. Amitesh again now. Let's see, this time by not as much of a gain as we saw last time round, but you can see the gain. You can see some minor gains happening over there. So by the looks of it, looks like Amitesh is getting good exits. Ojas is getting the good entry into these corners. Generally want to get good exits in sequences like this. So let's just observe Ojas's line up front. So takes that curve. Takes quite a tight line. Looks like Amitesh took a slightly tighter line, which is why he didn't go wide on the AstroTurf. And it looks like taking that tighter line actually paid off. He's closed that gap a bit more. And what is this? There was a... Oh, wow. Somebody has spun. So Amitesh spun over there. He spun in out of the exit of Toza. And he now has to go uphill and just claw his way all the way back. In all of this, Steve George has gotten a podium position and he's starting to run away with that. And now Amitesh has to defend from Aditya Patnaik right behind him in 5th place. Just trying to do anything he can to get by. So he goes on the outside now into this section. You want to be very careful if you're on the outside. Gets the switch back. Okay, he brakes early. You can see the brake discs glowing. But I think Aditya wouldn't have had to brake too much because he started braking very early. So he just trail braked into the corner, rather up the exit of the corner. Yep, this is going to be interesting to watch. Amitesh is defending furiously from Aditya. You can see that gap ever so slightly closing in out of the exit. And Aryaman Mumtaz also decided to join the party. It looks like it didn't start off too late. So, I mean, did start off a bit late, so he's not late for the party himself. He's just jumping into the action. Let's see if he can grab anything. He's just looming in the background. This is what usually happens. Drivers have to always loom in the background of all these battles and then claim any of the spoils, or any of the victor spoils in the form of someone else spinning out. Aditya Patnaik now has a run up down this main straight, goes into Tamburello on the outside. Okay, this is like George Russell and Bottas all over again, but at least it doesn't end that way. This is very well done by Aditya Patnaik. He manages to get by very smoothly, and you can already see that gap is built to about 2 car lengths on the exit. Aditya just weaving his way through the second Villeneuve chicane. And he did not gain that much time, so it looks like from this pattern I'm starting to observe Amitesh is very good after the first chicane, but then again starts losing it at around Variante Alta, which is that final chicane. So yeah, this seems to be his strength in the circuit. Aditya seems to be very neutral all around and consistent, and that's what's his strength right now. These are of course just my inferences. Love to know what you all think in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win this battle, and what do you think of each driver's driving style? What do you think benefits each driver in which parts of the racetrack? Let us know your analysis in the comments below. Come on, let's hype this up. Let's see what these drivers can do. You see that bent front wing over there? You don't want that to happen to the driver you're supporting. Here, Ashwin Ashok's front wing has bent downwards. You can see that in the front right. That's going to cost him a lot of downforce, and it's also going to cause a bit of drag, unwanted drag. Not to mention the wing itself having to be dragged across the racetrack. It's not quite touching it, but when you go through these sections, like Variante Alta is probably going to hit it there on that sausage curve. These are the sections where it really cost you a lot of time. He's stuck now behind Sai Kiran, but I wouldn't say stuck behind. Looks like Sai Kiran has pulled away with all the damage that Ashwin is facing. But no idea what's happened to the drivers behind, like Yash, Danny Thomas, Abhimanyu, and Yadullah. They're quite a far way behind over there. Yeah, a lot of battles up front. Not sure if there are any battles in the back, but they're really going to have to claw their way back. We've got 8.5 minutes left approximately, so we're just around like the final, the final third of the race, more or less, entering it. So let's see what can happen right now. Leader is far away up front. Ojas is a good way behind, but then a good way ahead of Steve George, and Aditya Patnaik hunting down Steve George, Amitesh stuck behind Aditya, and Aryaman looming in the background of this battle. This has been going on for a good while, so this is what you want to see, a bunch of drivers just constantly battling it out. You don't want anyone to spin out. You want to see these clean overtakes. Just a brilliant view over there, seeing them all go over the hill, go downhill over here. Once again, Aditya goes. No, sorry, that was Steve George. Steve George went wide on exit, gets on the AstroTurf. He's now under the clutches of Aditya Patnaik. Aditya makes a move on the inside, and I think he has that line. He's taking it. He's taken it. He's made it stick. But Steve George is fighting back, gets the switch back, and gets back into third place. Now Aditya is gonna lose that position because Amitesh Rao is coming right behind him. Amitesh has just banged the wheels at the sides over there. Oh my God, this was almost 3 wide in that corner. This is getting really intense. Amitesh is starting to get a little impatient right now. He doesn't want to get stuck behind. Steve George concedes the position to Aditya and loses 2 positions in that process. He loses it to Amitesh as well. So Steve is back in 4th place. He's gonna just have to wait and see what happens with Amitesh and Aditya up front. He has a choice to either do that or start attacking. You can see him slowly grasping onto that slipstream. He's slowly starting to take advantage and like claw his way back, just magnetically get pulled back into the competition. Let's see what happens. Yes, this is the strong section. This is where Amitesh is really strong. Aditya missed out over there, and yep. This is exactly what's going to happen. We're going to have a 3-way battle. It looks like all the way till the end. Once again, Amitesh just pulling away a bit in that section. Ojas having a very lonely race in 2nd place over here. Just enjoying the scenery. Brilliant track, just so picturesque. It's just so scenic. Brilliant track to drive around. Lots of fun. Very tricky, but I think that adds to the fun. Sai Priti is just pulling away. This has become a fast lap challenge for this guy. He's just biding his time away with 6 minutes left on the clock. He just has to just chill around, don't do much. Cruise to victory looks like. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen. I keep saying that, and whenever I do say that, nothing does happen. I don't know. I mean, we had some really good battles, so now let's just hope the battles continue. Aryaman goes wide. He seemed to have overtaken Steve George, but Steve George is starting to fight back now. Steve having to take the inside, the left side, stuck behind. This is again a compromised position. No, there is contact. Steve taps the back of Aryaman. Looks like, at least from that angle, can't say for sure, but I'm quite sure there was some collision in that process. Steve has now taken 5th place, and he's got Navneet right behind, rather right to the left side of him. Steve's got the inside line, but that's not going to be the non-existent line. He's going to be right behind at this point. He's going to have to just take a wider entry over here. You see that battle as that goes on. Aditya's just pulling away, gets a little bit of air time over there. You don't get any points for tricks, unfortunately, but he just hits that curve and launches a bit into the air. Navneet still having that position over Steve George, and Aryaman is going to really want to get that position back after having been bumped and basically left in the dust at the Rivatsa complex in the previous lap. So this is the closing stage of the race. We've got about 25% of the race left at this point. And yeah, in that sort of camera perspective, almost looks like the cars are just stopping up the hill. They're like struggling to go up the hill, but that's really not the case. It's just the camera perspective. As you see on board, it's just so fast, and with these close walls, that sense of speed just triples. Aryaman taking this. You can see the understeer as he goes through that section. He must be having some serious tire wear at this point, having just been pushing all race and then just getting in the gravel at the end. Enjoy the revs of those engines. You can hear the downshifts and the way the gears just clunk as they get into position. These have electronic shifters, but you can still hear the gears as they go up. Each one as they pick up the speed, you can hear it on the main straight here. It'll be quiet for a while. Hear that, just downshift, get that engine braking working, let the gears work against the engine, just kind of slowing it down naturally, mechanical losses and all of that, all the losses, the frictional losses, and the drag acting on the vehicle, everything just slowing it down as you get off throttle. And then you go down these lower gears. That's where you want to really stay when you go through these tight corners, just to get a good exit, to get some rotation, and then quickly upshift before you get too much wheel spin, too much torque output into the tires. And to the wheels which go into the tires. Sorry, as Aryaman does that going downhill, he started picking up the pace now. I think now he's realized that it's now or never. He's just gonna have to push before that race clock ticks down to zero. Aditya still in fourth place. He's still hunting down third place. He's been doing this for quite a while now. He's stuck behind Amitesh for good few laps right now, with the two cars ahead of them just nowhere to be seen. Perhaps on the other side of the circuit, for all we know. Let's see if Aditya can do this time by. So breaks into the corner slightly earlier. Gets a very tight exit. That's not very wide exit. He's got a slightly wider exit over here, but it looks like Amitesh has got a similar exit. That gap seems to have stabilized now. Yes, after the exits and everything, but it's not going down in any way. So Aryaman has now lost sight of Steve George. He must have spun somewhere, it looks like. So Steve is all the way over there, almost entering the first chicane, as Aryaman just goes past the start-finish line right now. So of course, obviously something must have happened over there, because last time we saw he was actually right behind, even after that gravel trap experience. But yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest battle right now till the end of the race. Aditya versus Amitesh. Got a minor run. I think what's going to happen right now, he's got a small run up that hill. I think what he's going to do right now is perhaps wait it out and then attack on the final lap and perhaps catch Amitesh off guard. At the same time, I think Amitesh is probably anticipating this as well and is doing everything he can to build up that gap. Seems like he got a little bit of a slide out of that corner. That was definitely a hint of oversteer over there. And that has costed him that exit. Let's see what Aditya can do. Nope, Aditya has got a good exit, but so has Amitesh. So that gap has stayed the same, but it's of course reduced after that oversteering incident. Sai Prithvi has now started the final lap of the race with just 30 seconds on the clock. Yeah, sorry, he's just about starting it right now. Aditya still hunting down Amitesh Rao. Now it's about on the honor of getting that podium spot. That's what everyone. Oh no, Amitesh has spun. That's not the way you want to get the position. Oh wow, that was so unexpected. I don't know what happened there. Amitesh got a bit too throttle happy into that onto that exit curb. That's so unfortunate. He got too much wheel spin, sending him to the left when the track decides to go to the right. He's down in 5th place now, so he's going to have to settle for 4th if he can get past Navneet, but Aditya's miles ahead. Oh, that battle was going on so well till the end, and then it just spun out of control for Amitesh Rao. He's going to be kicking himself for that, but I think that will be a learning experience. This all the same. That's what these cars can do. They can catch you off guard with too much torque input onto the tires. The rest of the drivers coming through, a lot of drivers just having lonely races at the back. Ashwin Ashar crossing the line for his final lap. Sai Kiran after that starting his final run down the line. Danny Thomas way at the back had a pretty good start, but I'm not sure if he got caught out in some chaos over there. Yash, another driver who had a decent run in qualifying, not sure what happened. And then Abhimanyu and Yadula as well were midfielders in the qualifying session. So I suspect all of these drivers might have had collisions. We did have 2 sets of collisions on the opening lap, so that could have been the cause of all of that. And then ARH way at the back, just pushing just to get as much lap time out of that. Shobit way at the back. So I think we saw Shobit heating up the tires on the start of the second race lap. Speaking of the race lap, the race laps have finished for Sai Prithvi. He has completed the race. just wait until second place driver Ojas also finishes the race. So that's a grand slam for Sai Prithvi. Ojas comes home to take second place. He's weaving all over the place. I think he's happy with that. Aditya getting third after that unfortunate spin that Amitesh had on the penultimate lap. Then Steve George, Ojas, yeah, sorry, Navneet coming in fourth, and then we've had Ojas, Steve George, and Aryaman and everybody else coming down the line. Prathamesh coming down now to finish off the race in eighth place. Ashwin coming across as well. I think he's just going through Variante Alta. Looks like has to go all the way around Rivatsa. Gets onto the back straight. Kunal right behind him. Kunal Mahatria, another driver we saw in the truck race a few weeks ago. Everybody just coming across the line. More or less a chaotic race, but I'd say it was very exciting. I don't know if you found it exciting. Viewers, love to hear your feedback and comments on what you thought the race was like and whether you enjoyed the action and if you're looking forward to the next one. I'm quite sure those drivers are not looking forward to doing that again, just slamming each other. Uh, yeah, why not? Just put it in reverse and kind of stop yourself on the wall. Why not have some fun with the race all over right now? But that is the way the order stands. Sai Prithvi pulled away a massive victory, or just taking a lonely second place, and Aditya Patnaik sticking there after the first lap. Unfortunate incident to hold third place and wrap up the podium for what was an extremely exciting race. On that note, thank you so much for joining us. We're really looking forward to you joining us next time. We had Firoz and Gaurav in the commentary box. Sorry, Firoz and Gaurav in the race direction, in the race director seats, taking care of all the camera angles and bringing you all of that exciting action. My name is Saidat Ramesh, and this is me signing off on behalf of IR Esports and AKEF. Have a great evening.